Ah, the classic clinch cover, windswept hair, heaving bosoms, and a hero who looks like he's never heard of personal space. But behind these dramatic covers is a story just as fascinating. Let's talk about how Mills and Boon and Harlequin turned romance novels into a billion-dollar industry. Hi, my name is Moana, and this is my reading buddy Spike. And I am a reading and writing lover who disliked English class as both a student and a teacher, and I am now documenting my journey of rediscovering my love for words. In my last video, we talked about the origins of romance, from ancient love stories to Jane Austen's timeless classics. But today, we're fast forwarding to the 20th century when romance novels became a mass market phenomenon. Let's start with Mills and Boon. Founded in 1908 in the UK, Mills and Boon wasn't always the romance powerhouse we know today. In fact, they started as a general publisher, printing everything from cookbooks to detective stories. But in the 1930s, something changed. The Great Depression hit, and people were looking for an escape, something comforting and predictable. Mills and Boon found that escape in romance novels. These early romances were short, sweet, and focused on emotional intensity. They often featured innocent heroines, brooding heroes, and of course, a happily ever after. These books were affordable and accessible, sold in places like pharmacies, grocery stores, and train stations. They weren't just books. They were a form of comfort during tough times, and readers couldn't get enough. Now let's hop across the pond to Canada, where Harlequin was founded in 1949. At first, Harlequin was just another small publisher printing mysteries, westerns, and even children's books. But in the 1950s, they made a game-changing decision. They partnered with Mills and Boon to distribute their romance novels in North America. Harlan took the Mills and Boon formula and made it even bigger. They streamlined the stories, focusing on shorter category romances, usually around 50,000 words, with predictable structures. Readers knew exactly what they were getting. A meet-cute, some emotional tension, and a guaranteed happy ending. I think that's really important for me. I want that guaranteed happy ending. But Harlequin didn't just sell books, they sold a lifestyle. They marketed directly to women through mail-order book clubs and made romance novels a staple in supermarkets and drugstores. By the 1970s, Harlequin was a household name and romance novels were everywhere. So what made these books so addictive? Well, it all comes down to the formula. Mills and Boon and Harlequin perfected a structure that readers loved. First, the hero and the heroine meet. Oh. Then they face obstacles, maybe a misunderstanding or a rival. They overcome those obstacles and fall in love. And of course, they get there happily ever after. These stories were all about emotional intensity. They focused on feelings rather than explicit content, which made them accessible to a wide audience. And let's be honest, there's something comforting about knowing exactly how a story will end. Because no lie, whenever I read a love story, if it's not a Harlequin, then I'm going to actually look it up to see and make sure that there's a happy ending. But anyway, so these novels were quick reads, perfect for busy women who wanted a little escape. Whether you were reading on your lunch break or before bed, these books were like a warm hug in a paperback form. So now let's talk about the cultural impact of these novels. On one hand, they reflected the societal norms of the time. Early romances often reinforced traditional gender roles. Think virginal heroines and dominant heroes. Marriage was almost always the end goal, which mirrored the expectations placed on women in the 20th century. But on the other hand, These novels also gave women a space to explore their desires and fantasies in a socially acceptable way. Many heroines were independent and career-driven, even if the story ended with marriage. And let's not forget, these books were written by women, for women, which was pretty revolutionary at the time. Over time, these stories began to shape how we think about love and relationships. They showed readers that love could be exciting, dramatic, and transformative, and that message resonated around the world. Before we wrap up, here are a few fun facts to impress your bookish friends. Mills Boon sells a book every 3 seconds in the UK. Harlequin publishes over 100 titles a month in more than 30 languages. And those iconic clinch covers, they've become a symbol of the genre itself. So love them or hate them, you can't deny their impact. So there we have it. The story of how Mills Boon and Harlequin turned romance novels into a global phenomenon. These books weren't just entertainment. They were a reflection of their time and a catalyst for change. In our next video, we'll explore the feminist backlash against romance novels in the 1970s and 1980s, and how the genre evolved to include more diverse and progressive stories. In the meantime, let me know in the comments, did you grow up reading Mills Boon or Harlequin? What do you think of the formulaic structure? Thank you so much for joining me for this video, and if you enjoyed it, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to see more of my bookish content. Until next time, happy reading and see you soon. Bye!